recorded live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to financialfreedomradio.com. I want to thank you all for coming and joining us, downloading throughout the week. We're just blessed that you're there. I want to thank Casey Jones, our engineer, for coming in here and keeping us on track every week, or whenever we have the shows. We were off last week. But I want to thank him for coming in and making sure it all happens. I want to remind you of our mission. Our mission was stated by Albert Einstein years ago. And he said, the mind that opens to a new idea never comes back to its original size. And Albert Einstein was credited for it, although some people have told me he didn't say it originally, but he's credited for it, and we're going to go with that. The mind that opens to a new idea never comes back to its original size. And if you want to listen online, you can go to financialfreedomradio.com or .info and stream it live as we do it, 10 o'clock Eastern Time every Tuesday morning, except when we take the week off. We're down here in Southwest Florida, folks, so I got to tell you, sometimes I'd rather be fishing than doing this, but we like doing this. I like it, and it's a great forum to pass out information and help people expand their mind. As you know, my background is economics. I have a doctorate in economics, so I've been studying entrepreneurs. I've been studying business. I've been studying the way business people act for years. And now I think it's time that we shared some of that information so that others can have that insight also. We do have a sponsor. Our sponsor is 20percentnow.com. If you go to video.20percentnow.com, you'll be able to see all about it. It's a 20% cashback program where you can get cash back on all of your bills that you pay during the month. Up to there's a cap on it. You'll have to read it in the website. But if you buy gasoline, you go to the grocery store, you spend money off your credit card, don't throw those receipts away, because every time you do, if you throw a $100 receipt away, you're throwing away a $20 bill. So check it out, 20% now, or video.20percentnow.com. Remember, video.20percentnow.com. Man, I screwed that up, didn't I, Casey? Anyway, we're going to talk about why people are afraid of entrepreneurs. And, you know, there is a underlying fear of entrepreneurism. We're seeing it in this election. Donald Trump is a entrepreneur, whether you like him or not. He's an entrepreneur. And he has managed to scare some folks because entrepreneurs operate in a whole different way. And so we're going to talk about why people are afraid of them. When people don't understand how an entrepreneur thinks, they have a certain level of fear as to how they operate, because they operate in a fairly unconventional manner. And that way of operation causes confusion in a lot of people. Other entrepreneurs understand it, and they will gravitate to it. And maybe some non-entrepreneurs will understand it and gravitate to it because solutions are given to them that they know need to be solved. And we can see it in this election. And you just transfer this into business. Entrepreneurs operate on 3 rules: ask, verify, and solve. They will pose questions about an issue they're looking at. If you've ever worked for one, they will ask you questions. They will ask about the issue they're trying to deal with and try to solve it. And we will expand on this in a minute. And then they will verify it and make sure it's right, because everything has to be verifiable. Everything has to be mathematically and legally verifiable, or they won't do it. So you can be assured that whenever a question's asked by an entrepreneur and they verify the solution, then they have a good handle on what's going to happen. And then they solve it. They will come and take care of it, and they will solve it in rapid fire. They will make sure that the solution is one that will solve it and they won't have to deal with it again. Ronald Reagan was kind of an entrepreneur, and he was a rare bird because he was a politician, but he was an entrepreneur at heart because remember he would say trust but verify. So he would take the verify part of it. He would trust what he was getting, but he would verify that it was true. And that's what I say. It has to be mathematically and legally verifiable. Entrepreneurs will not, a lot of them will not accept it as truth. They will make sure that mathematically and legally it's verifiable. So let's transpose these three rules on Donald Trump. He poses questions. He goes out to the people. He poses questions as to the issue he's dealing with, like immigration. He'll pose a question, or the infrastructure of our country, the USA, that's rotting. He'll pose the question. And then here's another one, NATO. Is NATO worth the money anymore? He poses the question. Now, when he poses the question, everybody that are non-entrepreneurs get a little crazy because, oh my God, he's going to do away with these things. He's going to shut down the borders and never let anybody in. He's going to rip up our bridges. He's going to spend all of our money on infrastructure. He's going to shut down NATO. They get apoplectic when he poses the question because they're assuming that when the question is posed that the result is a negative result. And it's not necessarily so. When he poses the question, the result could be positive. It's just a question that's being posed from an entrepreneur. And when it's not understood by the media and the political people, they get nuts. Once he poses the question, then he verifies it for truth. Let's go to the border. Lots of people are coming over. Drugs are coming into this country by unsavory characters. Not to mention there are some good people looking to eke out a living in a better place, which he did give credit for, but people choose to misread that because when he poses the question, they're gone totally negative and they lose sight of the fact that he's looking for solutions now. And what is the solution? Well, one of them is all the illegals, you identify who they are. And if it's necessary to deport them, do it. It's necessary to build a wall to shore up the border, then it has to be done. And his spin on it is that he wants Mexico to pay for it. These are all solutions. And the media and the politicians are going, oh my God, he's going to destroy the Mexican-American relationships, which really, by the way, are none. Where he's going to create chaos in deporting all these people. It may not happen that way. Because when it comes to verifying, he may verify that there's a better way. Verifying what he's looking at for being verifiable legally or financially. It may not end up that way. But because he said it as an entrepreneur, everybody runs with it and blows it way out of proportion. Then he solves the problem. How do you solve the problem? Well, maybe you got to round up a bunch of bad guys and get rid of them. We've had deportation rules in this country for years, and they've been exercised for years. Why all of a sudden is it a bad thing? Why all of a sudden is getting rid of bad characters a bad thing? It's not. And everybody talks about it. But when the entrepreneur brings it up, it's awful. And when the non-entrepreneurs see the three are three rules that the entrepreneurs operate from, they start to go negative. Oh, we can't have this man run our country. He's awful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our country was built by entrepreneurs, not by politicians and not by newspaper people. The media. It was built by entrepreneurs. Who built this country? Go back and look at the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. They were entrepreneurs. They were farmers, the agrarian class. They had to run their business. They had to make money. They were printers. They were shoemakers. They ran businesses. They were blacksmiths. They were entrepreneurs. Our country is built on entrepreneurs, but for some reason it's gravitated to the position where entrepreneurism is bad. And there's a war on entrepreneurism. And so you're seeing people rise up and support Donald Trump because he's an entrepreneur. I'm not endorsing Donald Trump one way or the other. I'm not endorsing any candidate. I'm just drawing an example. Ted Cruz is a politician. First of all, he's a lawyer. He's a politician. He's been a politician all his career. And he is part of the establishment. I don't care what he says he is. Just because he rattled some people in the Senate doesn't mean that he's not a politician. It means that he had the chutzpah to go in there and to say some things that they didn't want to say and disrupt their little world. But he still has his own little world. He's tied to the Bush cartel. It's unbelievable. And John Kasich's been a politician all his life. He's been, I believe he was in the state politically, then he went to the House of Representatives, then he went to governor. He also was a Wall Street guy working in an investment house. And Wall Street bankers are not entrepreneurs. They are money lenders and money collectors. They are not entrepreneurs. They do not create wealth. They abuse wealth. Lawyers are not entrepreneurs. They do not create wealth. They feed off the problems that other people have or create. So the only type of person that's an entrepreneur is somebody that creates wealth, creates jobs, and government jobs are not wealth-building jobs. They create private sector jobs that generate, that cause revenue to be paid to employ the people that generate revenue because they're employed so that other jobs can be created. Government jobs are created and their salaries are paid. They don't do anything to generate more revenue. If you've got a person who is making widgets, they have to make so many widgets a day so that those widgets can be sold so that those dollars can be put back into growing a business. And the person that buys the widgets puts the widgets in a machine and sells the machine to generate revenue to pay their employees' salaries. And that is the velocity of money and the multiplier effect. And you can apply that to taxes, you can apply it to business. Government jobs are not entrepreneurial jobs. And so when you've got an entrepreneur that stands up and says, wait a minute, these are what I identify as problems because I'm asking the question and then I'm looking for solutions. I'm trying to verify it. All you folks are getting in my way. And I'm trying to verify it. Because once I can verify it, I know how to solve it. That scares the bejesus out of people because when you ask a question, people automatically assume the negative. 87% of the people are negative, 12% are positive. Entrepreneurs are a positive group of people. So why are people afraid of entrepreneurs? They shouldn't be, because entrepreneurs will make their life better. They should be embraced, coddled, and revered because they will make people's life better if they're in political power. They will not stay in political power very long. I bet you if Donald Trump gets elected president, in 4 years he may be done. He may have fixed what he needs to fix. Maybe 8 years and he's done. He's gone back to running his business. Entrepreneurs are not career politicians. They may get converted, but the ones that receive the conversion only get converted because they can end up making more money than they did as an entrepreneur. Because as a politician, you get to build huge war chests of money. And there's a whole discussion centered around that. But let's stick to what we're talking about. People should not be afraid of entrepreneurs because they are solvers of problems. They are identifiers of problems, and they can verify the problems, and as a result, your life will be greater. I want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you found this information helpful. If you want to download this, you can go to financialfreedomradio.com or .info, and you can see it'll give you the link to TalkShoe, where you can download it. We'll also put it up on YouTube under Raymond Jewell and Financial Freedom Radio. So I want to thank you all for coming and downloading. And Casey, thanks very much for being here. And hope you see you back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, financialfreedomradio.com. Have a great rest of the week, great weekend. Take care, and God bless you.